George Russell is facing the absolute worst-case scenario for his Formula One career, and the threat is coming from completely outside of his control. The British driver has done everything asked of him since joining Mercedes. He has won races, he has matched Lewis Hamilton, and he has proven himself as a top-tier talent. But right now, his seat for the 2027 season is in massive danger. A perfect storm is brewing in the driver market, and Russell is standing right in the path of a hurricane named Max Verstappen. The entire paddock is currently obsessed with the implosion happening over at Red Bull Racing. Max Verstappen is openly talking about walking away from the team and potentially from the sport entirely. He suffered a shocking elimination in Q2, qualified 11th, and could only manage an 8th place finish in the race. But the real story is not just about one bad weekend. Verstappen is fundamentally rejecting the new 2026 regulations, and his frustration is echoing through the entire sport. Speaking to the media after the race at Suzuka, Verstappen delivered a brutal assessment of the current cars. He stated very clearly that driving these machines simply does not feel natural to him. He called the extreme energy management and the constant lifting and coasting anti-driving. He admitted that while he can accept not winning every single weekend, he cannot accept racing in a formula that he fundamentally does not enjoy. He even dropped the ultimate warning sign, saying that at some point you start to think that this is just not what you want to do anymore. When a 4-time world champion starts talking about walking away, the entire sport goes on high alert. Verstappen openly questioned whether the grueling 24-race calendar is worth the sacrifice, especially when the passion for the driving itself is fading. He made it clear that his massive salary is no longer enough to keep him motivated. This level of public dissatisfaction has forced Formula One CEO Stefano Domenicali to intervene. Former driver Christian Albers revealed that a private dinner has been scheduled between Domenicali and Verstappen to discuss the champion's concerns. But while retirement is a genuine threat, there is another scenario that is keeping George Russell awake at night. Verstappen wants to win, and he wants to drive a car that allows him to push to the absolute limit. Right now, Red Bull cannot provide that. Team principal Laurent Mekies openly admitted that Red Bull has fallen to a distant 4th in the pecking order, trailing behind Mercedes, Ferrari and McLaren. Mekies insisted that the team is having zero discussions about Verstappen leaving, but the reality of the situation is completely out of his hands. This is where the famous exit clause comes into play, and this is where the nightmare begins for George Russell. Verstappen is technically contracted to Red Bull until the end of 2028, but that contract has a massive loophole. The details of his performance clause have been exposed, and they are incredibly strict. For Verstappen to be locked into his contract for 2027, he must be sitting in the top 2 of the Drivers' Championship by the time the summer break arrives in August. If he is 3rd or lower, he is completely free to walk away. Right now, the chances of Verstappen reaching the top 2 by August are practically zero. After the Japanese Grand Prix, he is sitting down in 9th place in the standings with just 12 points. He is currently behind rookie drivers in inferior machinery. Unless Red Bull pulls off a miraculous, unprecedented turnaround in performance over the next few months, that exit clause is going to be activated. Reports indicate that Verstappen will have a 3-month window, from August until October, to officially inform Red Bull that he is terminating his contract early. And waiting with open arms at the end of that window is Toto Wolff and Mercedes. Wolff has never made a secret of his desire to sign Verstappen. He tried to get him before he joined Formula One, and he has been watching the situation at Red Bull like a hawk. Now, with the new regulations shaking up the grid, Mercedes has built the fastest car. They have nailed the new engine rules, and they are the team to beat. For Verstappen, the logic is simple. If you want to win championships and drive a car that performs, you go to Mercedes. This is the exact moment where George Russell's future becomes incredibly complicated. Mercedes has already found their next superstar in Kimi Antonelli. The young Italian took pole position at Suzuka and is proving that he has the raw speed to lead the team into the future. Mercedes views Antonelli as their franchise driver for the next decade. He is not going anywhere. That leaves exactly 1 seat available at the best team on the grid, And if Max Verstappen decides he wants that seat, Toto Wolff will give it to him without a second thought. Formula One is a ruthless business, and loyalty only goes so far. George Russell is a fantastic driver, a proven race winner, and a dedicated Mercedes man. But you do not pass up the opportunity to secure a generational talent like Max Verstappen. If Mercedes signs Verstappen, they will pair him with Antonelli. It would be the ultimate dream team, combining the proven, ruthless championship experience of Verstappen with the raw, fearless potential of Antonelli. It is a lineup that would guarantee Mercedes' dominance for years to come. Unfortunately for George Russell, he would be the collateral damage in this blockbuster move. He would find himself pushed out of the team he has dedicated his career to, simply because a better option became available on the open market. It is an incredibly unfair situation, but it is entirely realistic. Russell knows that he is fighting for his seat every single time he goes out on track. He has to prove to Toto Wolff that he is indispensable. But how do you prove you are more valuable than Max Verstappen? It is an impossible task. The dynamic between these three drivers is going to dominate the headlines for the rest of the season. Russell is caught in the crossfire of a much larger battle between Mercedes and Red Bull. He has to keep his head down, deliver flawless performances, and hope that Red Bull somehow manages to fix their car and convince Verstappen to stay. But every time, Red Bull struggles, and every time Verstappen complains about the car, the pressure on Russell increases. The August deadline for the exit clause is looming large, and Russell is the one who stands to lose the most. The upcoming break before the Miami Grand Prix is going to be a critical period for all parties involved. Verstappen will have time to reflect on his future, consult with his management team, and have that crucial dinner with Stefano Domenicali. Red Bull will be working frantically back at the factory in Milton Keynes, desperately trying to find a magic bullet to fix their car. And Toto Wolff will be quietly preparing his pitch, ready to offer Verstappen the keys to the fastest car on the grid. As the season progresses, every single comment from Verstappen, every single result from Red Bull, and every single performance from Antonelli will be analysed under a microscope. The tension is going to build with every passing race weekend. The summer break in August is going to be the most explosive period of the year. The entire Formula One world will be waiting for the official announcement that could change everything. And George Russell will be waiting to see if his dream of winning a world championship with Mercedes is about to be shattered. What do you guys think about this massive driver market drama? Do you believe Max Verstappen will activate his exit clause and make the shock move to Mercedes in 2027? And if he does, do you think it is fair for Mercedes to drop George Russell to pair Verstappen with Kimi Antonelli? Let me know your thoughts and predictions in the comments